What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Plain Jane Cars, and this is another Plain Jane Cars podcast. If you didn't have an opportunity to watch the last one that we did, go check it out, and I'll figure out where the little pop-out thing comes up on the screen. We want you guys to look at that episode. We talked about our most controversial car mods, which I thought was pretty interesting, pretty funny. What do you think?
I think it was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tristan's back on the podcast. She's going to make regular appearances, of course. She's kind of like my co-host, I think.
A little bit.
Yeah?
Hopefully, maybe.
If you want the job, you got it. I didn't properly introduce myself last time. I realized that. I assumed that all 5 people that watch my channel know who I am. But I shouldn't make that assumption. Just call me Plain Jane. Every time we go to shows and stuff, it's pretty funny. That's what people call me anyway.
Weirdly enough.
And I'm kind of used to being called Plain Jane. That's through Instagram and through the car. So, yeah, I'm good with Plain Jane. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Today, we want to talk about wheels. And you might ask, like, why do we want to talk about wheels? You know, I think what makes wheels interesting to me is that everybody's familiar.
Yeah.
Even when people, like, aren't into modifying cars, they care about what their wheels look like, even from the factory, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you say?
Yeah, you pick them out when you
100%.
get your car.
That's why OEMs give you options, right? So
Yeah.
I want to start with something that I grew up with. I want to ask you, and if you guys have some comments on this, please comment below. What is the proper term? Wheel or rim?
I would never correct somebody, but I know, especially online, people in general will say it's wheel. It is wheel. When you go look at like different manufacturers, it says wheel on the website,
Then
not rim.
Where did rim come from? Because I'm gonna tell you, growing up,
I would say it's cultural because in
ask,
Baltimore, my understanding of what a wheel was the metal part
right,
plus tire equals wheel.
That's wheel.
But then as I started learning about cars, it was like, no, there's a rim on a wheel. Like, you know, there's a rim. Or a basketball hoop, there's a rim.
Right.
But a wheel is the metal part. And then there's tires. There's nothing to combine them. But I would never correct somebody.
So, like she said, I'm from Baltimore, born and raised.
Yeah.
Admittedly, you can, besides my lisp, you can hear it in my accent when I talk. And we call anywhere where you went to get like aftermarket wheels.
Yeah.
We called it the rim shop.
Yeah.
I think it's cultural.
It's definitely cultural.
I don't think it's regional. It's not regional either because it's not like a south-north thing. I think in New York they call them rims, and I've heard in Atlanta they call them rims. Like it's not a regional thing. It's definitely cultural.
Yeah.
And we'll just leave the cultural part, what culture calls it, what alone.
Yeah. True.
And you around me, I'll use them interchangeably. But being around some of the BMW guys, I was corrected.
Yeah, people will correct you.
Straight up.
100%. People corrected me. I'm like, well, what's the difference?
Isn't that
tire plus the metal with the spokes? They're like,
you know what I mean? They're like, no, it's not a rim.
It's not a rim. They're like, a rim is on a basketball hoop. I'm like,
yes. Yes.
What do you mean?
No, all right. Something else that I don't understand, and I'm not playing ignorant when I ask my daughter these questions. These are things that I genuinely don't understand. What do people mean? Because I see these memes, right? My algorithm is all car stuff, so I'm in a car world. And I see these memes or jokes or stories on Instagram about people that have reps.
Oh, yeah.
What is a rep?
I always say it's like a copy, a cheaper made version, like a cast wheel.
Okay.
Basically like a cheaper version of a higher quality wheel that came up before the rep. So it has like a historic aspect as well as a quality aspect. And like the people that actually made it, like the manufacturer of the wheel.
So see, as a former auto mechanic, I went to college. That's all I went to college for. To me, a replica, the only rep that has ever existed in my mind is a replica of a OE wheel.
Right.
Right? Because OEs make wheels.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Original equipment manufacturer, OEM. And then there's a secondary market. Like before people really big into like taking their factory wheel off immediately and putting an aftermarket wheel on, people will always replace with an aftermarket wheel. Yeah. And then there became, with the OEM wheel, you know, a nicer OEM wheel. Right. And then there became a market for that. So there was like these, well, I'm not going to name a country. There were countries that would produce these lower quality cast replicas. Yep. But I noticed in the car culture, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about a wheel that has the same design as maybe a classic or higher end wheel. I'll pick on BBS.
Yeah, I was gonna say BBS.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe work.
Yeah.
But
TEs.
So if you have a design or a pattern on a wheel, right? Yeah. Now I'm not going to pick an E88 or LM because those are very classic. And the thing about E88s and BBS LM specifically is OEs have used that wheel.
Oh yeah, Porsche does, Audi does.
So then it fits into what I would define as a rep. Same thing you can say with Advan, right? There are some OEs Advan has made, right? Yeah. But then there's other wheel patterns that OEs have not used. Right. Would it be if I go get a Brixton Forged or a signature wheel, or even like I got BC Racing, right? Yeah. A regular Y spoke, right? Like is that? I mean,
I guess
is that a rep? Is that a replica?
Some people would say yes, even though they're like almost $1,000 a wheel.
They are $1,000, and more than $1,000 a wheel, and they're forged,
which is insane.
And they're made in the same factory,
which is insane.
Well, not the U.S. stuff. Some of the Vossen. I mean, there's some U.S. with it, but a lot of,
but still like high quality.
Yeah, it's high quality.
Like OEMs, but I would say it's pretty high quality, right?
So, in my mind, and I can be wrong on this. I just don't look down on aftermarket wheels that are forged that aren't $12,000 for the set.
Yeah, I agree. Because sometimes, I think people...
And I'm biased because I have BC Forge, just to be clear, right? I don't have BBS or anything like that.
I don't know. I think people always say, like, they are lower quality. Like, some of the...
They can... Well, let's talk about that. Hold on, let's talk about that.
Yeah, they can be.
So,
they're not necessarily...
So when we say lower quality...
The way they're made.
That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. That's right. We're talking cast V forged or flow forged or something like that, right? Yeah. Or we're talking low pressure forged. And we're not going to get to the technicals. I could do that. True. I could get very technical. Yeah. But if it's forged, then you're not talking about the quality of the aluminum itself.
Right. You're talking about like how
if the billet is the same, right? You got the same, and we're not going to get into aluminum codes. If it's the same
material and stuff,
and it just has a different name stamped on it.
True.
I'm okay with the replica thing.
I agree. Because sometimes I'm like, ooh, it's weird in drift too. But sometimes I think that the idea that you have to spend $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 plus on a set of wheels just for them to be real, when you can get some that are they can still be expensive. They can still be like $800-$900 a wheel. Like you're still spending $4,000, $3,500 a set.
You're not gonna find a forged wheel.
A rep, or they're not an actual like TE37 or like.
Well, what I will say is, I would be cautious about certain wheel styles.
Yes.
I would stay away from an LM or E88. Yeah. Or TE37, right? It's just such a, like, I would say if you like that look, then get the OE. Not even the OE, but save up.
Yeah, just save up.
Save up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really, like, AL13 is a relatively new brand. They're cutting some mean wheels. Mm-hmm. I think Vossen cuts mean wheels.
I think ESR does too.
Well, see, now you're going to get some hate.
Some people think like all ESR makes are reps, but like if you look at their site, they make their own wheels now. They have like carbon wheels now. They have some really, really cool wheels. They still do sell their reps. Because I guess that's kind of how they started it. They did get a lot of hate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you ride ESRs, you got high levels of confidence, self-confidence. Because people.
I know.
But I got people I know, BMW gang. So I would say this. All right, this is not a question for you to answer, but a question for our audience, those that love cars. We're probably like levels deep into the car game right now, but would you rather have a forged ESR wheel? You know it's forged. Beautiful finish.
Forged 3-piece.
Let's say 2-piece. 2-piece model block forged wheel, right?
Yep.
Or would you rather have HRV's new Flow Forge cast line? ESR is forged. It's lighter. It's stronger. It's less expensive.
I mean,
or would you get basically the cast HRE? Comment below. I don't want you to answer that. Because I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. Okay. I'm not a fan of HRE. I'm not an HRE hater either. Not at all. But it's just, nah, I'm good. Yeah. All right, we can move on. I don't even know if we discussed that well enough, but
there's just a lot of mixed feelings about it. People are like, oh yeah, they're gonna break and stuff. I'm like,
and the funny thing is, it's only
slide into a curve. I mean, like if you hit a curve, I mean,
well,
like if you hitting a curve, there's some potholes at Mach 1. Okay, but you have to have eyeballs. Like if you hitting potholes at Mach 1, I think almost any wheel is gonna crack. There definitely are, stronger.
There's some low budget stuff out there. There's some low budget stuff out there.
If you're paying like $100, $250 a wheel,
even $400 or $500 a wheel. That's
yeah, I know. $1,000 for a set is still a little concerning.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Now
I agree.
Here's what I say is controversial. I shouldn't use that word. Here's something where I would say, if you're looking to make a decision, right? It's an investment. It's a waste of money to buy wheels. But if you're going to do it, know what your OEM wheel is. Mm-hmm. One thing I will say that should be frowned upon, not so much how much people spend, what brands they run, is please don't take a OE forged wheel off your car.
Oh, yeah.
And put a cast one on.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen people do that.
I've seen some cheap wheels and some Porsches. I'm like, what?
Nah.
What?
That ain't it.
What? Somebody put Doves on a Porsche. I was like, what?
That's not
crazy.
It.
It looks crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying price point. I'm just talking about construction, right?
Yeah.
So don't go from a forged OEM wheel to a cast aftermarket wheel.
Why would you downgrade?
It's not spacers. Throw spacers on.
Yeah.
Just throw spacers on. Keep that OE wheel. Change the tire. Whatever look you're going for. Mm-hmm. Lower it.
Yeah.
Keep them OEM wheels on.
Yeah.
I just can't get with that. Anything else, I don't care what people run for wheels. Reps, whatever.
True.
One other thing I'll notice, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
I noticed it's not like the American cars. It's not that crowd. Like you're not. If you got a Mustang and you put wraps on they were like, bro, nice wheels. The same thing with the Dodge guys. They don't care about that stuff.
It's JDM for sure.
JDM big hate.
Because like people, like
bro,
if you don't have works, oh my god, bro. I don't want to spend $7,000 for a used set of works, and I'm just learning how to drift. Like it don't even make sense.
The European guys are snobby, for sure.
Yeah,
they wouldn't let me say rim, but the
wheels.
JDM people.
Yeah.
It's like the hate.
It's
Why?
So
it's like it's weird. It's like you Ford Chevy people get along better.
Yeah.
Like the amount I've been noticing that. I'm not in the JDM.
Like
but,
people keep their specs.
100%.
I'm in the SC group and I'm like, okay.
It's so
sometimes
weird.
they're like real loving, but some people are like, why don't you just go measure yourself? The rest of us measured. I'm like,
no love.
What are you even talking about right now?
That's funny. All right, what do you see? What do you like for trends? What are you seeing in wheels? Because we talked a little bit about in our last video, kind of touched on trends, how things kind of come and go. I think I mentioned spinning wheels. I may not have, but that was a thing that was in the early 2000s. Seems like it could make a little bit of a comeback. But anyway, what do you like? What do you like that's out there that's new and different in wheels?
And one of the guys on the show, he has black wheels. In the drift community, that's a big no-no. They need to be white or chrome.
Oh.
You pull the handbrake, you can see. It
just
looks cleaner. I understand why people say
it's the Kim Block way.
Yeah.
Kim Block started it.
Right.
We all know that. Yeah. We all know that. It does look better, especially when you're filming.
But I'm saying, like, I don't know. I've seen some black wheels recently, and I'm like, they're not bad. Like, there's nothing bad about them.
Really?
No. I really do like white wheels. I really do like white wheels. That's just something I always like. My dad knows. Before I even started watching drift stuff, I wanted white wheels.
White wheels it's interesting. I'm in the.
I love white wheels.
What I've noticed that I like is if I can find this video, I'll put this in. Hopefully, I can leave this in because I hate editing. AL13, and I think it's Dimag that are making all the carbon barrels for like all of these mid-level got Brixton, and they're just putting their carbon. I'm sure Dimag was. I could be wrong, but it seems like Dimag has partnered with quite a few. But anyway, AL13 forged carbon barrel.
Looks crazy. I've seen a lot of carbon wheels recently too.
I'm not into carbon wheels until I saw forged carbon wheels.
That's terrible. We just talked about it.
I got a thing. It's a thing for me.
Yeah, I saw someone ESR's TikTok and I was like, what?
Yes.
What in the world? They were like 3-piece forged. I was like,
I mean, that's a trend. I wasn't for me, for my personal. Yeah. No, I think they might even be more than that.
ESRs are $3K a wheel. I'm pretty sure.
That's
like
on the low end.
$3,250 a wheel.
So somebody in Houston, our buddies over at EVS, got a set, and I think it was $25,000. Wow. It went on a SF90 or something like that. So they were big. They were big.
Okay,
but you still, I mean, you know.
Wow.
Not cheap. Anyway, we're droning on. Couple controversies. We agree that it's wheel. Mm-hmm. I've adapted to wheel. Even though I still say rim every night. I slip up and still say rim. But it's wheel.
Yeah, it's wheel. We
believe that reps are okay.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You're not trying to fake it.
And like 75% of applications, reps are probably the way to go.
I think it's okay.
Most people that are running reps don't have 5K for wheels. But anyways.
Let me caveat this though. If you have
get it from a reputable company.
If you have a show car.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe not okay.
That's what I said. 75-80% of people like maybe reps are probably a little bit of the better option.
Or if you're like imitating, like if it's a direct rip off, we don't get fake Gucci.
Oh, okay.
Don't get fake Louis Vuitton.
Right.
Don't get fake LMs. Don't get fake E88s. Don't get fake TE37. And I can't think of popular. You know, I'm not at that well versed with like
wheel style.
Yeah, I mean, but those are the ones that pop into my head.
The popular ones that are
don't
have a lot of reps.
Don't.
Yeah.
But the other stuff though, who cares?
That's what I'm saying.
A regular 5-star, whatever.
5-spoke, 6-spoke, Y. I'm like, bro,
get out of here.
Y'all, that is the most generic. Like, what are we talking about?
And you like colors. You like the black. See, I don't like black because OEMs do black. It's too much black wheels. But
I wouldn't get black wheels, but I've seen some cars where I was like, oh yeah, I like the black wheels.
I'm all about gold.
I've always wanted white wheels, so
I love gold. Give me gold. But I do like the carbon, forged carbon. I'm all about concavity.
Yes.
And I love that guys like Ferrata, who I'm friends with, so I'm biased. I'm not going to talk about them because sometimes they get a little bit of hate, which I don't understand. They have their concave madness, and I love more concavity. There's no car that does not look good with concave wheels. That's why OEMs put concave wheels on cars.
That's true.
Looks good.
Yeah. I mean.
Awesome. Hey, I have an idea. I want to read some comments from our last video.
Okay.
Does that sound good? How about that? Let's read some comments. Oh, so top comment was actually from Jeezy81. He said he always wondered if that hurts the engine. I'm assuming he was talking about when we were talking about the like burble and flame tunes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
I don't know if it really hurts the engine. If you have a turbo, it's tough on a turbo.
Yeah.
It's tough on your exhaust too. Yeah. And you can catch the car on fire.
It's very, I dare say stuff gets hot very fast. Super
hot. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got Keith Neal. He said, super interesting. Appreciate you. Thanks, Keith. Always appreciate the support. And Keith is low key like a producer. You know what I mean? That's my mentor that I used to work with. Yeah. He gives me ideas. He sends me stuff. I appreciate you, Keith. Vetman Kevo said, dope content as usual. Everything you talked about is spot on. All controversial mods. You love to hear it. Stance is the most definitely a hot topic in the car community. I'm not a big fan of it, but there are some clean stance cars out here. Congratulations on the podcast. Keep winning.
100%.
Man, these comments ain't even mean yet. That means I'm not big enough. I appreciate y'all. Last one, Gringo with an esposa. Is that how you pronounce that? I think esposa. I like
wife.
That. Gringo with a. Okay. Limo tent is the reason all of these people get cut off all the time because y'all can't see anybody.
That's
else.
True. They're bold. People are bold. You can't see them.
Oh, they drive like idiots. Man, comment below if you want your comment read in the next podcast. We will be back extraordinarily soon because we got a whole bunch we want to talk about. Yeah. Appreciate you. Shout out to Tristan. We look forward to coming to you guys with more content in the not too distant future. We're still going to mix it up too. You guys will still see some of the build series stuff we got planned. We might even be taking the BMW to Shift Sector and doing like a little half-mile event. Because she always says nobody knows that my car is fast.
Nobody knows that it's fast.
Look forward to that. I think it's coming up in March. I got to look at the calendar. But anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.